Hello everyone. We welcome you to lesson number 5 in our global worldwide Mega Congress. This lesson is going to be a Zohar lesson with chosen passages about love of friends and prayer of many. We invite you to ask questions on the site of the Mega Congress, Kabbalahinfo. Chosen relevant questions will be asked during the lesson.
Why do we need to reach a connection, the prayer of the many, and all those things that are so much against our nature? Kabbalists tell us that in that it's not that we need that or the Creator needs that, but the problem is that we need to ourselves acquire a new sense, feel the reality that is outside of me. I am as though in a box, in a black box, and there are entries, several entries into that box: seeing, hearing, taste, smell, and sense. This is what I have. And through those 5 entries, I feel the world, I sense the world. This is my world. This is what I have. What is outside, I do not know. We've learned, and we've spoken about it many times, that I have no idea what connection there is with anything that is outside, seemingly outside. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I can't be sure. And what connection can there be between what is outside and inside? Because what I imagine inside, it comes after many actions. Let's say that this is the ear, and through the ear, here comes sort of sound wave. And as it passes into my brain, and in my brain, it starts becoming some sort of electrical and electrochemical processes, and later on I start identifying those phenomena with using my memory and with the things that I understand or do not understand, and I feel I do not feel, and with my emotions, and I process all of this, and until it comes into my inner sense that I located. Thousands and thousands of actions are happening along the way. And the question is there any connection between what happened here outside and what I felt here inside? Or do I just feel or imagine that this is happening? And the Kabbalists tell us that we only imagine it, because outside really nothing happened. But rather, outside is only the upper light that is surrounding us, and nothing else happens. Nothing happens in it. It is constant. But inside, what we have is these reshimos, these impressions, and they develop more and more. And these developing reshimos, impressions, as they develop towards the upper light, they open like some sort of input or data in the computer that is now springing into action and giving me some picture that is drawn on the screen. And then I see a painting, a drawing of this world in all the senses that I have, that I can picture it in my sight and hearing and smelling and etc., etc. And the next moment, the next reshimos comes into fruition, into realization, and I start feeling another picture and another picture and another picture. And the Zohar tells us that all those people who are in this world, they are like those whose eyes are looking inside, inwards. And they see what is happening inside them and not what is outside of them. And so each and every one of us is built. And hence, in order to help us exit this imagination that we're seemingly outside, in the sensation of the outside, but really we're feeling what is happening inside of us. The wisdom of Kabbalah has been given to us. And it explains that it's not, for no reason that a man feels the reality as though he exists with so many other people around him. Rather, because he feels that there is him and the others, then he has this ability to develop a relationship, an attitude to the others on top of his natural attitude or relationship. And then he can exit himself and start feeling the reality as it truly is outside of him. A higher reality, a spiritual reality. And if in this reality that he feels himself, he lives for a certain period of time and then he dies, he feels that reality more and more and more closing on him, pressing upon him, then he has to understand that all of this is in order to move him forward, to oblige him, to compel him to reach the perception of reality, of the higher reality that is outside of him. And therefore, Baal HaSulam tells us in the preface to the Zohar that even though we have in our brain this photographic machine, that all these processes turn seemingly as though they're outside of us, and then all these phenomena, all these inner phenomena, we imagine them as though they're outside. He tells us, how much should we thank the Creator for creating this lie for us, this photographic machine, because through myself feeling that parts of me are outside and I feel them as foreign, if now I forcefully, with an effort, would like to again insert them back where they belong, inside of me, in that I will actually exit this lie, this deception, and start feeling what is truly outside. So there is something and its opposition here. I'm going to say it again. We exist in a perception of reality that what we feel inside on this screen here, inside, we feel as though it is outside. And therefore, all my parts, all my reshimot, my impressions, pictures, phenomena of various types, whatever I feel inside, I'm not aware that they are inside. I'm certain, and I can see, I can feel them, I can touch them, that they are outside of me. And this is how I accept them. And then all the things that belong to me, I see them as foreign, as alien. Outside of me. This is the outside. But truly, they're all inside of me. The wisdom of Kabbalah comes and tells us, you imagine that those things are outside. You have to make such actions that you will insert all those things that you think are outside, inside, to the true place where they are. This is called love thy friend as yourself. This is called treat all of reality as though it is yours, it is you. What do you gain out of that? You gain from that you return to the true state of things, that other than this desire to receive, nothing else exists. Inside of it is the Boré, the Creator. The whole world is there. You are there. Everything is you. And then this will be called Olam Ein Sof, the world of Ein Sof. Outside there is nothing. To the extent that you can draw these things, these external things, you can draw them inwards, this is called that you're advancing, that you're drawing nearer to the correction. So you first have to recognize that you hate those things. First you must have this feeling of hatred. And then, against that, there is the correction of love. And then you correct this deception, this lie that the Creator has arranged for you on purpose, because by feeling that they're external, foreign, and later you insert them inside, you truly acquire within you, in addition to the ratzon, to the desire that the Creator has created, also love. So you have ratzon plus ahava, desire plus love. And then you reach the Creator's degree, the degree of the Creator, that you discover Him inside. That special state, which is the whole perfect state. And so we learn. And the Zohar writes about it a lot. There are many verses about that. Maybe we can hear a verse that talks about that. Both the photographic machine and maybe about those people who, in our world, they enter inside and there's no light in their eyes. Well, whatever you can find.
Yes, we really have in letter 34 in the book of Zohar, the sense of sight that we have been given, that we see the whole big wide world. Truly, we don't see all this, rather only in our internality itself. Meaning, in the rear of our mind, there is as a photographic machine, which depicts for us there all that is visible to us and nothing which is truly outside of us. All this the Creator has done to us there in our mind is as a polished mirror which flips, inverts everything that we see so that it should appear to be outside of our mind as if in front of us. And although this that we see to be outside of us, it's not real. In any case, how much we have to give thanks to the Creator's providence, indeed that He has made this polished mirror in our minds, allowing us to see and to attain everything outside of us, because in this He has given us the force and ability to acquire things in clear attainment, to measure everything from the inside and the outside. And likewise, and without this, we would really be losing a lot of our acquisitions.
If we would only feel ourselves and what is happening inside of us, without distinguishing and comparing and measuring that with respect to something that is outside of us, we wouldn't be able to understand anything. We could only feel ourselves as though we are unconscious. No more, no less. Nothing is nearer or far further away. Nothing is above or below. Not in any of these foreign external manners that are different, that are changing. And therefore, in order to give us this feeling of life, of liveliness, of existence, the Creator has created this lie, this deception for us, through which we can reach some sort of perception of reality, that the creature suddenly can grasp reality and distinguish between him and the Creator. I understand that my words are only words, and still it is very difficult to understand them, to grasp them, but you will discover, hopefully quickly, how much those things are realistic, how much we truly exist in such a reality, that this inner screen within us is depicting to us all of reality. And the feeling that it is outside of me, that there is me and something outside of me, this is simply the Creator's invention, that through this I can feel that I exist. Because if nothing was outside of me, I wouldn't also be able to feel myself as existing, because towards what? Towards whom would I be able to feel that? You can only have one feeling that does not relate to anything outside of it. To what degree? In heat or cold, in pressure, in some vibrations, in some discernment, only one feeling is not a feeling, it's not a sensation. It wouldn't be felt in me. That single sensation can only exist with the Creator, only a single quality. But I feel my liveliness, my vitality, only by connecting, by objecting, by comparing qualities. And therefore, by the Creator's giving me the opportunity, the possibility of seeing that something is outside of me in a false way, because truly there is nothing outside of me. Nothing exists, only Him and me. And He gave me this feeling, external feeling. He gave me a possibility to feel myself as existing, as having been created, as returning this reality to myself. And then by drawing Him, by pulling Him back inside of me, I acquire the Creator's quality. I come closer to Him. As much as all of the world, to the extent that I draw this world that is outside of me into me and bring Him closer and closer in 125 degrees, more and more and more, until I reach a state where everything is inside of me. In that extent, I acquire the quality of the Creator, the feeling of the Creator, the existence of the Creator. I become like the Creator myself. I discover that force, that substance that is discovered in me. So, many are not many. And we just imagine that there are many. And love thy friend as the other, that we need to reach that. It's not just for me to feel good or, feel good in this world, but rather to bring you to the degree of the Creator, godliness, the upper force. And do we have other passages about that?
In the preface to the Wisdom of Kabbalah, Baal HaSulam writes in the first letter, all the upper and lower worlds are all dependent exactly upon man, and the entire reality found to be in these worlds, they are only for man.
So first that all the worlds, the upper and the lower, are all incorporated in a man. Outside of man, there is nothing. This is first. And then?
And there is a need
and all these worlds, why do they exist in such a way that we imagine, that we feel that they are outside of us, or later on we feel that they are inside of us? It's only for the purpose of man, in order to
only for man, and there is a need to understand here that it is not enough for man this world and all that is in it in order for him to utilize it for his good, rather that he also needs all the upper worlds and all that is in them, because they were not created rather solely for his needs.
They were only created to bring a man to the degree of the Creator.
We've spoken about the photographic machine that Baal HaSulam, as he said. So Louis from Colombia is asking, let's say I'm watching the news on TV, and so what? It's actually happening in me, you want to say?
Certainly. Of course, everything is happening inside. There is this movie. Wait a minute, don't you feel sometimes that you're sleeping and things are happening in your dreams, all kinds of things are happening to you? What is that there in this world, in this earth? You're flying among the stars, between the stars, and, doing all kinds of things. Do you have that sometimes? So how can that not happen also in our lives, that this is the dream? Baal HaSulam gives several examples regarding that, and there are many examples in the Wisdom of Kabbalah, that a man who dies, for example, he talks about this guy who, when he dies, he feels that, what can you give such a person? So you give him this, he used to drive a wagon, and you give him the same feeling that he's still with his family, with the wagon, and still living, still making money, he has a wife, children, he's happy. He's given that same sensation, and he feels that he's, in heaven. He feels that he's alive. And truly, is he alive or dead? Who can tell? and we're the same. Who's going to tell us that we now exist in some reality and we're alive and everything? Maybe in a minute you'll wake up. Or you'll never wake up and just keep living like that. Who knows? So Kabbalists tell us that you can rise above this reality and reach the true reality. In the true reality, you compare yourself with the Creator, with the upper force. Then, from that point of view, from there, you can truly establish that this is true or not. Until then, you have no way to check that you now exist in anything that is truly exists, but rather the opposite. From the beginning, and we've heard about it several times, that fictional world of ours, it's a fictional world. It only comes to us through this Reshimo that awaken in us, and this Reshimo, they project this picture to me, and I now am with you in a common shared picture, and I imagine that you exist and outside of me, but this is all these internal Reshimo of mine that are now awakening this situation for me, and I now go with you as, look at you as though you are outside of me, but truly in my reality you're outside of me. What can I do? But truly, when we rise up to another degree of attaining reality, above all the Einsteins and all these guys, in the true perception of reality, and we see ourselves here, we'll see to what degree this reality is fictional. This is why it's called the fictional world. And this has been written about thousands of years ago in the wisdom of Kabbalah. And only now science is beginning to, in a little degree, to kind of try and feel that it may be like that.
In Hanover, Germany, Ruslan is asking, can you explain the connection between the brain and the body, or the spirit? And where exactly is the soul taking part in this whole thing?
Well, the soul does not fit in between them. Because brain and mind and spirit of ours, it's all a man living in this world as a beast, at the degree of the beast. His body is the desire to receive, and his mind is what serves that will to receive, and the spirit is the spirit of the beast, like in any other beast, any other animate thing. You cut a cow's head off, the force of life disappears, just like from any other still or vegetative or animate. You can destroy them in that degree, and they move into the degree of the still, and that's it. This is called our existence in this world. And you can, if you want, if you're capable of, you can discover the soul. That is something different. The soul has nothing to do with your body entirely. It's a part of the Creator from above. This is how they say. And so you have to attain that by a different type of work. You have to attain bestowal, love. You have to treat other people differently. You have to relate to them, that relationship to the other, like yourself. It's called the force of the soul. So these are two things that are completely separated and in opposition. Our liveliness in the body and our liveliness in the soul. And therefore, when the Creator created for us this reality, where we exist, so many people, and still and vegetative and animate, and mainly the speaker, what did he create that for? As we said, for love. And the main thing about the love is love the other as thyself. Because towards those who are foreigners or outside of me, those Reshimos where I see people outside of me, all of humanity that exists outside of me, I have to depict the pieces of my soul. Pieces of my soul. Meaning I have to draw them nearer to me, closer to me, and love them even more than I love myself. Why even more? As it gives us in this example that if you have one pillow, you have to give it to your slave, and one chair, you have to give it to your slave, and so on. Why? Because here the force of hatred works. So it's not enough for you to be in equality with him, but rather it has to be even more than yourself. So this is one thing. The second thing is, what do I get out of that? In that, you bring those pieces of your soul back to you. And then your soul, instead of being a single point, you have a soul that all of those strangers, they must now connect. You're given 1 point. This is called the point in the heart. From that point in the heart, you have to relate to the others, to the strangers, and insert them here inside. All of them. 7 billion or whatever number there is now, pieces of the soul. And then all of this will become your whole soul. That is it. This is called the end of the correction. If you insert all of those strangers into you as pieces that are inseparable and truly connect them, as it is written, as one man in one heart, or they will all be connected in one body, then instead of the point in the heart, you will have neshama, you will have a soul. Yes.
Continuing what we just spoke about, you explained about the Reshima. Miguel from Mexico City is asking, so physical death is just another Reshima in our development, or what?
Physical death is nothing. It's just another revolving of the dead body. The live body becomes dead, and another live body shows up, and in the degree of the still, we also need to do these actions, kind of upgrade ourselves, and because we need to clothe with a new mind, a new sentiment, corporeal, and that's it. But see what happens here. When I start relating to foreigners as myself, I start bestowing upon them. It's not just that I draw them closer to me. I start bestowing upon them, bestowing my love. I want them to relate back to me. I want them to be with me. So here I play a very interesting game. I know that those strangers are not strangers. These are pieces of my soul. But I know that. I haven't yet inserted them into me. I haven't drawn them yet. I haven't glued them inside of me. I just know that. I've heard it, I read it, or maybe I've done something with the others. And with some of them I managed to do something, and the others I haven't. So I have to work towards them as though they are strangers, like the members of the group, the friends in the group. I need to awaken them. I need to take care of them, really court them, so that they will want to be connected with me and return, really, literally return into that place inside of me, inside my heart. And that game that we're doing with those strangers, and I know that they are not strangers, but in my sensation I still haven't corrected that thought that they are strangers. Out of that I draw them, and in that game, as he says, Bala Sulam, that the Creator has made this photographic machine for us, I thank him because through that, because I can treat them as strangers and ask them to be connected with me, and for all of us together to work, and all of us together to request, and all of us together, because on my own I can't do it. It's the prayer of the many that brings us to the goal. Then out of that, I reach a state where those points outside of me, that I relate to them so much as strangers, I bow towards them and I think that they're greater than me, that they are parts of the Creator, that they're far away. I hate them, I need to love them. On top of all of these gaps of relations, I give them a volume, a weight. And when I connect them to me, when they come and are connected with me, then I receive this connected vessel. It's not just a connected vessel when I put them back to me, inside of me, but rather I also bring them back in a power that is 620 times bigger than what I had before. And then I can attain spirituality as a creator, not as a creature. I attain really what is in him. This is called that I attain 620 or a whole degree, a full degree. And it's all because of these pieces. It doesn't just appear to me that I lost them. They're also strangers to me because they have their own essence. Because in them is also free choice, and do they want or not to manage and behave towards me in some way. And I have to make all kinds of sophisticated actions in my relationship with them in order to convince them to connect with me. It's all a game. But through that game, I reach the sensation of godliness.
From St. Louis, Vic Taylor is asking like this: if the whole reality inside of me looks like a dream, how do we know that spirituality is not just another layer in this dream?
We can't talk about that now. And truly it's a question that remains as a question. You can ask about that until you attain spirituality. When you attain spirituality, when you attain the end of the correction, then there is this question: have I truly attained the end of the correction? And there's nothing beyond that. Or maybe beyond that there are also things. Kabbalists tell us, yes, there are things beyond that. But what you attain in those degrees, those are true degrees. You're still limited. Even after the end of the correction, you're still limited. Because at the end of the correction, you've corrected your vessels. What in those corrected vessels do you then start to feel? Then you start attaining something in its true form. Listen to what happens. We, all will all, when we speak about the correction, and making ourselves, turning ourselves from evil to good, from hatred to love, and connecting to us all of those, the whole world, that I feel that it's inside of me, that I then, inside of me, at the end of the correction, of my own correction, I feel all of those desires, all of those souls, all of those discernments as inside of me, and also within me, I feel them as separate, but also as connected. So I've reached a state where I am a creature, but at the same time, I'm at the same degree, at the same force as the Creator. What happens after that? Kabbalists tell us, after that, well, you will see what is ahead of you, what is opening to you. What? They say, well, we can't tell you because you don't have any roots for that in order to attain that. You exist in our world, this world, which is some sort of projection of a replica of the spiritual world. So at least there are similar words, similar names between them, similar terms, but regarding what opens to you after that, we can't explain, because then there are no words, there are no limitations, there are no letters, because our letters are, at the time of the correction, until we finish the correction, then the letters disappear. As it is written that the Creator has created the world using the letters Aleph, Bet, Gimel. The letters came to him and asked him, which letter does he want to use to create the world. So the world, the concealment is built doing those qualities called letters. But when we go beyond the concealment, where everything is revealed, there are no letters. There's no black on top of white, all kinds of shapes, forms. There is a completely different existence after the end of the correction, and so we can't now get from them even a hint. And we shall live and see. What they promise us, it's good. Nothing is worse than this world, that's for sure.
Our friends from Croatia, Yaniv C. from Croatia, wants us to read exactly this portion, which is suitable for the topic we're talking about now. It's from the 34th letter by Baal HaSulam. He writes this: and you lack nothing, rather to go out to the field which the Creator has blessed, and to collect all these laid off organs from your soul, and to join them into one body, and in this whole body the Creator shall bestow His bestowal and permanence, and you shall see the greatness and the fields of light, and shall be as an unending fountain. And in all where you shall look, you shall see the Creator, and everything shall be blessed by you, because you will be blessed permanently.
Okay, I just want to say that by beginning to realize that what is outside of me is really inside, and what exists outside of me, I have to connect that to me. This compels me to work towards the friends. That is, to work towards the friends, we also come from the perception of reality. We come there from all kinds of different manners, the breaking of the souls, as we understand that this happened, and why it happened, and so on and so forth. But we also get there from the perception of reality, and from this we get to the prayer of the many. That all in all, we need to reach a state where first we all want the same goal, that we are connected, all of us together, not because we are connected together, and not because we exited a single body, but rather because there is a common goal, one goal. There is something here that is very delicate, that it's not like in a car that I want to fix it and it's broken, and I bring it back to how it was before, even though I don't even bring it how it was. Corrected is, we think of it was broken, now it's corrected. So some impression from the correction remains, some impression from the breaking that was there before. Here, when I correct it, I acquire something that is much greater than what was before the breaking. By discovering and acquiring for each and every piece that is outside of me, every part outside of me, independence. In my ego, I treat all of them as though they have no independence. They have to serve me. This is my demand. When I begin to love them, I want to relate to them as though each one of them is great. Each one of them is independent. Each one of them is special. It's the way we would like to look upon our children. And then each and every one of me that is outside of me becomes having a choice, having a stature. And as we connect together later on, when I connect those friends together to me in one connection, each one of them has grown to my degree. And it comes out that I don't just connect back to me, let's say 7 billion pieces, but 7 billion worlds of Ein Sof are connected together. This is called 620 times more that I multiply my consciousness, my vessel, in volume. And therefore, there is this issue here of many, that they need to be, on the one hand, greater than me. This is how I value them, in order to give them the height, but it's all towards me. So now we understand even more why it can only work towards me, because it's all in me. But to the extent that I picture them, stabilize them each time in the right manner, just in order to increase my own vessel, which is for the purpose of discovering the Creator. In that degree, as I value them, esteem them as higher than me, and also so that they can be great, and also less than me so that I can bestow upon them, and also equal to me so that I can connect with them. And then I acquire a great, humongous vessel called my true soul. It, let's say, is 7 billion times greater, that soul, from what I had before the correction. Before the correction I was in the world of Ein Sof as one point, and I get back, I return to that world of Ein Sof in a sensation that is, as we call it, 620 times greater in that feeling. So this is perfection, wholeness, eternity. It's like the difference between a drop of semen and a grown-up that has reached his full growth. So we need to understand that from the perception of reality, our connection with the friends, our relationship with the friends, it gives the friends a great importance. It's not just a means that, once I put them inside me, that is it. No. We have to look at each one of them as a part of me that I imagine as outside of me, that I have to elevate. I have to make him as large as possible. And then, when I connect with him, this is what gives me the end of my correction. So I begin with love, with respect, with everything that I have to relate to the others. And this later becomes my world of Ein Sof.
From Sydney, Australia, we got such a question. If so, passing the barrier is the addition of another person to the sensation of myself?
Passing the barrier is the understanding and recognition that the reality exists in me. Passing the barrier is that the point in the heart has opened, that it has volume, at least with the 10 minimal sphirot, with which I grasp the reality. A light comes in, comes out. It moves like this, like that. The screen works this way, that way. It's all in a very small degree, but already I begin to see that everything is truly there inside. Everything is there inside. And that world compared to this world, I see it as some sort of, revolving in the background. This duality, it doesn't drive me crazy. It's not some sort of schizophrenia. It actually gives me the feeling and the recognition and understanding of root and branch. That there, within that point, that I feel some sort of actions, very small still. Exit, entry. I don't even know what exit and entry are exactly. Leaving, coming. I don't know exactly what it means. But it's like a baby that feels that something is happening. What exactly, he doesn't know. Let's say a light turns off and then it turns on. He doesn't know it's light, darkness. He just knows that there's some phenomena happening. You can picture it like that. And yet it gives me this feeling that this is something higher than me. And our world is only like a replica. Truly. And beyond that, more and more I start orienting myself in that and being in accordance as much as I can picture myself, resemble those qualities.
From Wiesbaden in Germany, where we have many friends with us, Oscar is asking, what does it mean that this whole convention, this Congress is inside of me, this whole thing around the world? What is this?
Truly, we're now making an exercise that in what we just talked about, how is the world outside of me? And this is how I imagine it, and truly it's inside of me. So these are all the exercises that we are not trying to do. That we want to connect together as one man in one heart, that everybody should imagine to himself that all of reality exists within him, and outside of him there is nothing, and the Creator is also inside, the world of Ein Sof is inside, and nothing else. Everything is mine, everything is me. And only this deception in my senses, this deception is pushing away all these pieces of me and separating, distinguishing. So in this Congress, we're trying to make this exercise, small exercise yet, one of the first ones that it's good for us, it's worthwhile for us to be connected, because through that we'll reach the revelation of the Creator. What does it mean? Well, the revelation of the true state of affairs where we're in. And therefore, it is so beneficial. I feel to what extent people are developing, how much they are also hearing and feeling, not exactly quite, they understand, they know what they're feeling, but changes are happening in them, and they're going to feel that very soon. It's going to materialize, and then they'll feel how much their perception, their true perception, it will come, and it will control them, and so they will treat all of reality correctly. Nature today obliges us to reach that. Nature today is pushing us to that. We see all of those agonies that the world is going through, and it's only so that we will open our eyes. Do we have a few more passages?
Yes, we have pieces about prayer of many from article Vayechi from the book of Zohar, where in 284 it reads like this: wherever a person prays his prayer, he should incorporate himself in the public, in the manifold public. This does not enter the great king as a strong force, because before it goes to be in its place, the Creator is looking upon, observing, and on the sins and merits of that same man. Rather not so in the prayer of many, that as many as the prayers are that are from the righteous, they will enter before the Creator, and He does not notice their iniquities.
Because the prayer of the many, as we now try to be as one and connect to some degree and understand, and in the connection, even though we're tired and exhausted, it's actually very good. It's exactly in those states that this little effort, it works. Even without an effort, it can happen. You know that you just need to be present in that, and it works. So those efforts ultimately build within us that new sense that we are all trying together through the difficulty. We're tired, and we've exited our homes, we've gone far away from our work, from our families, from everything. We've left the normal course of life. Everything is true, but this effort that we're now doing together, all of us, and we're all thinking together, what will the connection give us? Not just that we will feel good, not just that I'm sitting here and I'm discovering something new, but rather I will be new. I will grasp reality, that new reality. I'll be like a creator, myself as the world of Ensof, everything inside of me. It's very odd to think like that. But this is what we will discover. And therefore the prayer of the many that we are now all praying, one prays that he wants to sleep, the other prays that he wants to finally feel something, the third one understands, the fourth one doesn't understand anything, and so on. All of this together connects to one state that we are missing still in all kinds of manners. We are lacking discovering the truth, the Creator within us, and that is why it works. And therefore, all of reality is in us. The reality that is outside of me is inside of me. Whatever is outside of us, we have to just discover that it's truly inside of us. Love thy friend as thyself. It's not, just that it means that we need to be good guys and treat each other nicely, but rather that we have to gather everything and insert it into us and feel reality in us. Once I take all this reality and in circles I pull it inside of me, this means that I elevate myself in the stair of the degrees, in the ladder. And then when I have all of the reality inside of me, it means that I've reached the world of Ein Sof. And accordingly, I discover the Creator. The Creator is what creates all of these lights that I discover as Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechida. And then accordingly, I, even in the first degree, feel that I've exited corporeality, that I live in my body, as it's written, that through connecting with the others, when we come as one man in one heart, as in the time of the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai, we become independent of the angel of death. That I start feeling my reality as eternal life, because all of the feeling of life, the sensation that I live and die, it comes because I exist and there's something outside of me. Once everything is inside of me, that feeling that something disappeared, something was lost, something goes away, something is temporal, this feeling does not exist anymore, but rather everything goes into one connection, and then we accordingly rise up above those terms of concepts of place, time, existence of reality, because if everything is in one reality, then we don't have those conditions that there is something here and it's missing somewhere else, or vice versa. And therefore, it is truly liberation from the angel of death. And hopefully we will all reach that as a result from such efforts. We will talk about that more in our next lecture, a few hours from now, and our great ceremony here in Israel. And for the meanwhile, I'd like to sing with all of you. What song are we going to sing? Do we have anything?
את עולמנו
guys, so many people have been with us around the world. Today we're going to be meeting all of you. We're inviting all of you again to join us in the evening of unity. It begins at 7 p.m. Israel time. Of course, you can see it also on the internet, the Mega Congress site. 7:30 p.m. Israel time will be Rav's lecture. There'll be a lot of happiness, cultural events. Again, just happiness and unity.